Now yesterday when I shot this, yesterday we put together, we cut out the whole pattern and we put together the front panels of the pattern. And this is the end result here. Widen that. So this is the end result. So what we have here is the two front panels, and the pockets are in place. The pockets are sewed in. Now, and this is where the zipper goes. I made a mistake when I made the first pair I made a mistake because I took this apart in my own pea brain thinking that I was going to gain a little extra space in here, and it was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I wasn't thinking. I was just pissed that these pants didn't fit right in here, and they still don't. But that's neither here nor there. So in the instructions here, it says to mark from and it's on the pattern. There we go. So it's marked in the pattern here. This is the center. This is the center of the front. This is the fly extension. This is marked, and now I marked it with chalk because I didn't screw it up. I cut it off when I basted it, but I marked it with chalk. And then you have these two dots. Okay, these dots are A and B. Now when you go back to the instructions here, the instructions tell you to baste between B and the waist, between here and here, and stitch between A and B. So what I did was I took a straight edge. I punched these holes in the pattern using a hole punch, and you lay the pattern back down. I laid the pattern back down on my piece exactly along this edge. I don't care about this edge right now. Okay, I only care about this edge, and I want these two edges to be perfect because that's part of this is like the most critical part of it to get right the first time, because to go back and repair this or change this in any way, shape, or form is a fool's errand. So it's 1 3/4 between this line here and this line. This is 1 3/4. This one's actually looks like it's a little bit off. It is. I'm going to remark this. Now this is not. It's only a little bit off, but that little bit there will make this thing crooked enough that when you go to put the zipper, when you go to pull the zipper up, it'll be problematic. Trust me. I'm just going to remark this. Now I'm remarking this because we're going to do the next step. Now the instructions say to baste stitch from here, from this spot to this spot. We're not going to do that. We're going to use basting tape. Now I used basting tape the last time and it worked pretty good. The problem with basting tape is in particular this basting tape from Sailrite is this is some pretty sticky shit. And you don't want it to stay on there too long. You can there are other types of basting tape, other brands. I know there's other brands, I know there's other types. I use this stuff because it's super sticky, it stays put, does what it's supposed to do, which is stick stuff together, and then you can sew it. So this is the front sides of the panel, and it says right in the instructions to stick the front sides together. Yeah, on the wrong side of one front, mark center and front and dots A and B, pin fronts, right stick right sides together. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now when I flip these over, you'll see what I did. You can see clearly that I marked this here. Now I did that for two reasons. One is I'm a dope. And the other is it's just easier if you have both sides marked. It's chalk, it washes off. It takes, yeah, it washes right off. I have never had a problem getting it off, throwing it in the washing machine. Now if I just try to wash it off with like a spray bottle, it doesn't work. The other thing you'll notice is I taped on the outside, I put the basting tape on the outside of this line, and I'll show you why in a minute. Look at that, magically marked the front, or the wrong side here is marked. I'm very carefully lining these two edges up. Like I said, this is probably the most critical part of this whole adventure here is this. I want to make sure the waist is right. I want to make absolutely sure that these two pieces line up perfectly. And then I'm just going to press it down. I have a roller for that. Okay, now these two pieces are stuck together pretty good. I'm just going to take a couple of these wonder clips here, and I'm going to wonder clip it all around, purely because I want to make sure that nothing moves while I sew this. I guess I don't have to do it all the way around, but I am going to do it in a couple of critical spots. The wonder clips, these small wonder clips, do not like to clip. In this particular case, there's like 9-10 layers of vinyl, or it's like 9 or 10 layers of material right there. They don't like to clip that, so I'm not going to use those there. I have these medium binder clips that I'll use for this real thick stuff. They make these clips in a heavier, but I don't want those. I don't need them right now. And these little fuckers are expensive. They're about $1 a piece, or 50 cents a piece. And that's kind of expensive if you think about it. So the other thing I did, and which I had a problem with when I made the other pair of pants, is I sewed this all fucky the last time. And I paid for it. So what I did this time was I very carefully measured, using a ruler here, I measured 3/4 of an inch. Now this is the screwy one, this is not going to fly. Or, well, no pun intended. This, you can't measure from here to here because it gives you a weird measurement. So I measured from here to here 3/4 of an inch, because I want my I think it's 1/2 inch seam allowance. Oh, it's 5/8. Okay. So it's a 5/8 seam allowance, and that's pretty close to what I have here. I use 3/4, but really that's 5/8 right there. So that's 3/4, that's 5/8. I use 3/4, and well, all the way around. The other reason I laid the pattern down on here, right? So you'll notice when I laid the pattern down, I made sure that I lined this up. Now this is after I serged this edge, because the serger takes 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch to the gods. And there you go. Or one to the curve for your homies. So that's what we're doing there. Now the next thing I'm going to do, while I have this camera already set up in this position, we're going to talk about zippers real quick. I made a couple critical errors with zippers in the beginning, and I actually just made another critical error with zippers. I did not know. Now you could go buy a zipper for this, but I buy zippers in rolls. I buy zippers by the roll. This is a number 5 plastic coil zipper. I bought a whole roll of it, like 20 or 30 feet. It came with poles. It actually came with silver poles. I have black poles. Also, I got from Sailrite. Now, zippers. So a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago, give or take a little, I ordered this. I'm butchering the name. It's Vylon zipper, which is supposed to be water resistant. I ordered them because I wanted to make some water resistant nothing's waterproof, but water resistant bags. And so I ordered these. Well, what I screwed up was I ordered the Vylon zippers, but I did not order Vylon zipper pulls. So this is the Vylon zipper pull is completely different. And you can tell, I mean, anybody with half a brain can tell that the zippers are different, so therefore they're going to require a different zipper pull. Go to Sailrite, watch their videos on zippers, and it'll make your life a lot simpler, because I spent a good hour trying to get this zipper started in this zipper pull started in this zipper. This is a coil zipper. This is a coil zipper pull. You can't use a coil zipper pull with a Vylon zipper. There you go. Learn that the hard way. Now, back to where I was. So I'm going to put these aside. Now, the instructions call for, I forget what size zipper. For me, it makes no difference because I only have number 5 or 10. I'm not putting a number 10 zipper on here, which I could do. But I'm going to use a number 5 zipper. So this is the number 5 zipper. I fight with zippers every single time. I've been fighting with zippers forever. That's how I ended up with the Vylon zippers, because I never had a Vylon zipper fail on anything I've ever had a Vylon zipper on. Now, I pulled the handles off of them. Usually they use them on boats and upholstery and sail bags and real heavy shit. So that's why I went with the Vylon. Coil zippers, I've actually had the coils fail. So to get the zipper started, just pull it out a little bit. Let's see if I can. The number 10s are much easier to start. See if I can do this in one shot. Now they tell you to trim one side. I didn't do that, obviously. I don't think Sailrite sells Vylon zippers in this number 5 size anyway. They might. I didn't look. Like I said, I fight with zippers all the time. So that's tight there. And there we go. And you can see it's bent. It's bent because it's crooked. And you can see here it's 3 teeth off. Now I am gonna trim one side here just to make it a little simpler to start. So I'm gonna cut about that much off. Now this zipper is oversized anyway, so I've got plenty of zipper. And because I'm using a long spool of zipper, it doesn't matter if it's long. It actually helps if it's long. So we'll try that again. Started on this side here. I was hoping to get away with not having to do that, but why fight with something if you don't need to? That goes in there like that. That goes in there like that. It's still crooked. Ah, there we go. So it popped out. So now it's crooked on both sides. But it doesn't matter because it's not crooked in the zipper here. If your zipper's crooked, when you go to sew it in, it makes it a pain in the ass to sew it in. So that's the zipper. We'll get to the zipper in a minute. Now let's go sew from point A to point B. I'm not going to take the camera over there because I don't feel like setting it up. I'm going to use the Bernette and I'm going to stitch twice. I'm going to go down one way and then back the other way. So to prevent any excitement, I sewed the bottom of the zipper together on the Sailrite. Now, what it says to do in the instructions here is to press the fly open. which we're going to do. Out of the way there. Now, here's where the basting tape gets a little funky. Now, I actually got ahead of myself again. Again, I'm going to use basting tape here. This is the right side of the zipper, so this is the side that would be, you know, as your fly. And with the passing of Dusty Hill from ZZ Top, I cannot stop thinking Velcro fly. Alright, so we're actually going to get to some Velcro later on this project, because that's another thing I'm going to that is another thing I'm going to change from the original design of the shorts. Is instead of wasting time trying to do a button, or like doing a button, which is what broke my machine the last time, and I actually have that on video, and I have to edit that video where I actually knock my Bernina out of time. So we put the basting tape on here. Now I need to remove, everything's backwards now, right? So it says in the instructions here to pull the fly open, right? So we're gonna do that. Get that out of the way. And you see this mess we got going on here. We're gonna address that in a minute. Now, because of the basting tape, you can't actually press this all the way open, so we got kind of a little floppiness going on here. So I'm gonna just give it a little bit of a tug, pull some of the basting tape apart. I mean, this is some serious basting tape here. I mean, this stuff does not want to move. And it says in the instructions to place the right side of the zipper to the right front fly extension. Okay, so that's there. Yes. Okay, so this wants to go like that. Now remember, you're working backwards here. And then this is where, and this is why I marked both sides, because this is where the dot is. And I'm going to go a little bit below that. Right there. And then I'm going to stick this to here on the right side. And I find it funny because it is actually, it's backwards, but it keeps, yeah, it's interesting because the instructions are actually backwards. You want to stick, it says in the instructions, place the right side of the zipper to the right front fly extension with the left edge of the zipper tape along the basted seam. Oh, okay, no, the directions aren't backwards, I'm just an idiot. Alright, so I'm just going to take off this side of the basting tape here. And very carefully, you only get, well, you get a couple shots with this. I shouldn't say you only get one shot. But that goes there, right along that thing there, and we're going to stick that down. Now, the nice part about the basting tape is, once it's stuck down, it's pretty stuck, which is good. Until you have to take it off. Then you gotta take it off, fight with it, and reset it. Now, the Bernina has a zipper foot, so, and it's marked JB. Actually, you know what? I think I might actually move the camera and show how this works. This is pretty interesting. So I reset the camera here at the Bernina, and I'm gonna swap the foot out. Now, the Bernina is really, I like it. All you have to do is push down on it, the foot pops off. This is the regular, just like standard, good old-fashioned sewing foot. This is the one you use all the time for 99% of whatever you're doing. Now, this is the zipper foot. Now, the Bernina is really nice because it lists in the instructions what foot for what thing. There's a little instruction manual in the there's a little instruction manual in the directions, or on the touch screen, that explains which foot to use for what you're doing. Now the reason this foot is designed the way it is so you can get really up close tight to a zipper, and it will take the walking foot. Yes, you can use the walking foot with it, I think. Yeah, okay. So the walking foot here on this Bernina is on the back. You can just pull it down and puts it right into position. This was a selling point to me for this machine. Now, the other nice thing about the Bernina is you can move the actual needle. That's a piss poor angle, but you can move the needle left and right along its axis. Whoops, don't want to do it that tight. To place the needle exactly where you want to put it. Now, hopefully I can sew this without smashing into the camera. Now, you'll notice here that the zipper's way over length, and that's perfectly fine for what we're doing. As a matter of fact, it makes your life a lot easier. We'll cut that off later. Now, I'm going to lower the presser foot using the button and not the trigger, or, well, yeah, the foot treadle. Now you can see, I'm not sure if it showed up, the needle, or the zipper foot is right on the zipper. Now I'm going to move the needle over even further, and I'm just going to do a test to make sure I'm not smashing into anything. I'm going to move it over one more, do another test. That's pretty much the way where I want it, which is right up against the edge of the zipper. Do a couple forward. Now I'm just using the same straight stitch I was using before, that I've used pretty much on all the stitches. And notice I'm taking my time. I'm in no rush. I watch guys, he goes by Jason of All Trades. He does a lot of really cool manly stuff, but he would have been done already. He just, as soon as he gets where he wants, he just with the zipper or with the machine, and I personally think he sews too fast, but I do believe he is a professional. I'm not a professional. I'm just an alcoholic. So there we go. This is a hobby, not my profession. So I'm not going to go crazy with too much backstitch. Now I did do about 1.5 inches backstitch on that, and let's see if the thread cutter works. It worked. But you can see it didn't really cut the thread very nice. It's all frayed there. So that's it for right this second. Actually, you know what? I could probably do this right here. Let's widen it out a little bit. Now, in the instructions, it says now you want to move this over to this side, making sure that that's like that. And then we're going to go back and, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. So that's, yeah. So we move this over to here. Do it for the camera. So this zipper now gets moved over to here. Let me check the instructions real quick, but I'm fairly sure that that's where that goes. So the instructions say you want to pull it as far over without puckering anything under the zipper. It looks pretty good. I think what I'm going to just do is, like I said before, yeah, it looks like it's going to go right to the edge here anyway. It's going to go pretty much right there, and it's nice and flat, I hope. Like I said, I had a little trouble with this on the first one. So that'll be, because I'm fairly sure that this is straight, so we're gonna go for it. I have plenty of zipper, so if I screw up a zipper, it's not an issue. The issue is when I screw up the fabric, and I don't want to screw up the fabric. So I'm trying to keep this, assuming that ass out of you and me, that this is fairly straight here. We're just gonna, now this is the downside of the basting tape, is you see here how it's there. You got to get that off of there, or at least try to. I'm gonna do this the Mikey way. Look at that, got rid of that in a heartbeat. All right. Now, same deal. Now you can, this zipper attachment for this thing goes both ways. So if I want, I could pop this off, move the foot from this side to this side. I don't need to do that. So, because I just flip the part around, and I'm lazy. We've talked about my laziness. So make sure it's there. Test shot. Yep, there we go. I really like the button pushing on this machine. Makes things a little easier, for me at least. There's not levers and things to fiddle with. Now I'm pushing this, I'm pushing the zipper up into the foot here. I also have the machine right now set to stop with the needle in the piece. So the foot is actually right there up against the needle. The foot is right up against the zipper. The needle is right on the edge of the zipper. If I go over any further, I'll probably go right through the zipper, which I don't want to do. I should add a note in that I sewed in a zipper stop at the bottom on the Sailrite, just because I could. I love it every time that works. Okay, I'm going to take it back over to the desk here, and we'll look a little, or we'll go over what the next step is. Alrighty, we're back over here at the bench. It actually was a little bit premature, I guess. So still with the piece of material still, with the shorts still facing good side away from you, the zipper is sewed in, and you have this flappy flap here. Okay. So you want to, that once again it says pin it. I'm not going to pin it. I'm going to put basting tape there because I have it. You don't really need to use the whole length, but I always do. You could just put like a piece and piece, like you were using pins, but I always just use the whole thing. I probably wouldn't use basting tape. Let me rephrase that. I wouldn't use basting tape if this wasn't canvas. This is actually the basting tape that I'm using is specifically made for use with canvas. Emergency here. Crisis averted. So now with the they don't ever tell you what to do with this mess that's going on here, and this is a mess. I don't like the way this lays on these shorts, and that's something I want to try to correct. With the I didn't like the way it laid I don't like the way it lays on these shorts. So we're going to try to correct it with this pair. I like the way it lays. That's the way I want this zipper to lay, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to do that. So, with the material bad side down, or good side down, take the zipper and you flip it over, and you're creating a flap in the front. And so I'm just going to lightly touch that down, flip it back over, and take a look at it. And then, because I'm a little bit of a dope, I'm going to yeah, I think I may have actually screwed that up again. Maybe that's what they're talking about, not creating a pucker here, because that's definitely a pucker. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to check real quick here for illustration purposes, for filming purposes here. I'm going to put a line right where I know where the zipper is. And that zipper goes all the way down to here. Now, that line is crooked as hell. So, I'm going to take this off. And move the zipper this way. I'm going to take it off and move the zipper that way a little bit. And I'm going to check it again. Yeah. Okay, so that did what I wanted it to do, which should have contrasting colored chalk here. So what it did was, the zipper's here now. And all I did was move it over. That. I'm just going to stick a ruler on it. Sewing's kind of like hand grenades to me. Close is good enough. So that's 1 inch. The instructions say, okay, yeah, so the instructions say 1 inch over, then sew. And that'll put us at 1 1/4 inches. It says sew at 1 inch and then sew at 1 1/4 inches. We're at 1 1/4 already, so we'll have to be careful when we sew this. And I might use, I will try the Bernette. We'll see if it breaks it. The Bernette should sew right through the zipper without any problem. So, and the Bernette is already set up to do a zipper. To make the Sailrite do a zipper, I have to take part of the machine apart, and I don't want to do that. I shouldn't say that. All I have to do is take a screw out, and I don't want to take a screw out because I'm lazy. The other thing is, in the instructions it says to do like a semicircle here. I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably just going to run it all the way down to B. So this is the B dot right here. You can see it on camera. That's the B dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run down and then just put a square here, right? So I'm going to run this. You'll see it. I'm going to run it down right to there. Spin the piece, sew it to there. Maybe take 2 more They're 4 millimeters, so 2 more is 8. That's a 1/4 of an inch, give or take a little, or 5/16. And then 2 stitches this way, turn around, go back over it, and then run it back that way. We'll see if it works. Well, that was bizarre. I had to go change a flat tire for my sister-in-law. So where were we? Oh yes. So the zipper foot is all the way up against the zipper. Let's just do it. Yeah, I backstitched it. So I need to check. I forgot between the amount of time I walked away from the machine and came back. I had to check to make sure I hadn't missed anything or forgot something. She picked up an Allen wrench. Sadly, I think it may have been mine. Yeah, Allen wrench in the tire. Just another day. Just another day. Okay. And like I said, I'm gonna kind of cheat. I'm not cheat, but I'm gonna do taking a little poetic license here, and I'm gonna just square this off. Hopefully, yeah, she walked right through it, which is good. It's what I wanted. One more, and I'm gonna go all the way back because this is the zipper stop. The nice thing about the Bernina is if I keep it straight, which I just didn't, it will the Bernina will go step right back on its own stitches, which is a really handy thing. I'm going to do 1, 2, 1, 2. Ah, fucker. And I can go back 1 stitch. 1. And I'm going to, shit. So I'm going to have to raise the needle. Spin it this way. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pop I'm gonna have to pop the foot off. I didn't want to have to do that, but yeah, I'm gonna have to take the whole thing apart and sew it twice. Oh well. That's fine. So that's what I got there. It's really nice actually, except for that little fucking spot right there. So now I'm gonna reset same place. Really nice thing about the Bernina that I don't have on the Sailrite is I can look through and see what my bobbin, how much thread I have on my bobbin. So I'm going to do the same thing here, lower the presser foot. I'm going to all the way up against the zipper, drop the foot, slide it over a little bit. Now I'm going to take and run the needle there. Hopefully. Did it again. This isn't the machine. This is me. I should have known better. I might have a burr inside this needle, the eyelet. It's either the eyelet's got a burr, which I don't think it does, or the needle thread or wire is catching the thread, which it might actually be. I'm going to go back a little. I'm just going to start by going backwards, and then we'll go forward. Uh-oh. therein lies the quandary here. So what I did, what I'm fairly sure what happened now, is I got a knot. Yeah, there's a knot. Now I'm just going to raise the pressure foot up, reset. Pressure foot. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cut all these off of here. Oh, there's the problem. That's the, it's kind of, gotta be careful. So that got wrapped up around the bobbin spool. That's from the thread cutter. I shouldn't use the thread cutter with this thread, and I did it anyway. And okay, so that's actually exactly what's going on here too with the needle threader. So the needle threader has this little tiny wire that goes through the needle eye, and if you don't have that set right, when you go to put this heavy thread in there, it gets really angry. That jam was caused by me using the thread cutter when I knew I shouldn't have used the thread cutter. I'm going to get rid of this rat's nest here too. So there's a pretty decent rat's nest going on right there, and for multiple different reasons. So I'm just going to pull all that out of there. This is the stuff that makes your day aggravating. Yeah, you get to see that. That needs to go. Alright. No. Done again. Now, I'm kind of trying, because this is something that you're absolutely going to see, I've been trying to make these stitches look, I don't want to say perfect, because nothing I do is perfect, but I like to try to make them look a little nice. It's the pressure foot. Now, I have this set up so that it stops with the needle down. Ah, damn it. I meant to push that button. And we're going to spin it again. Making sure you're not sewing through anything you don't want to sew through. That's the nice thing about the Bernina is I can just step on the pedal here, and it'll lower the pressure foot and do everything it needs to do. Now the Sailrite, I have to remember to flip the pressure foot down, or pressure foot. Now, I'm not going to use the thread cutter. I don't want to jam the machine up again. Okay, so that gives us that, which came out pretty nice. I'm fairly happy with that, and I like the squared off look. The directions say to go like that. I like the squared off look. Maybe it'll give me a little bit more fly room. I hope it gives me a little bit more room to get my pekka out. Nothing worse than not being able to get your pants on.